Previously on All That Glitters.
This could be nothing, but I am interested.
Miss Baker, can you describe your whereabouts and actions on the 5th of September?
I left early for Hempstead.
What time did you leave Hempstead?
I believe it was around 2.
And who is it you care about?
Daisy.
Please state your names for the record.
Tom and Daisy Buchanan. Gatsby was a criminal, and we're both quite at peace with the matter of Gatsby being dead.
Mrs. Buchanan.
Well, I suppose there isn't any other way to be about it now, is there?
Find anything interesting? You were just saying George's face was surprising.
Yeah, look here. Why are his eyes open? Oh my god.
What?
Just here, look.
I didn't think there would be any more evidence left to be discovered. It seemed Nick's finding the lighter was a miracle in itself. But as we pored over the crime scene photos, something jumped out that absolutely should have sent a full team of investigators to the case.
Look.
George?
Do you have a magnifying glass? Stupid, I have a magnifying glass. It's in my bag on the desk. Will you go get it for me?
Okay, yes. What is it?
I don't know yet, but I think it can't be.
Here.
Okay, there's definitely something there. It's catching the light of the sun. It looks like part of his sleeve, but it isn't. Here, look.
Alright. I don't see what you're looking at.
His cuffs, where they're rolled at his wrists. Look at the buttons. Left side, 2. Right side, see, they're tucked in, the one that doesn't belong. It's only a slightly different color, but it's such a weird shape. Jagged edges, I can't make out how many sides. 5? Maybe 6? I've never seen a button shaped like this.
Yeah, I see it. The one in the middle there, wedged in.
Mm-hmm.
It could have popped off the real killer if there was a struggle.
Okay, let's say I'm there. I've brought George. Let's go get revenge together, I'd say. I shoot Gatsby, or I steady George's hand to do it. Then I tell him it's over. It's time for him to die, too.
But he doesn't want to. He's decided he can live with revenge.
The killer grabs him, forces his hand up to his temple.
He's pleading, asking to live.
He grabs onto whatever he can. God, a button could have come off anyone.
But it's something.
It has to be.
In the log, does it list items found at the scene?
I hadn't gotten there yet, but let's see. George Wilson, personal effects. Leather and silver wristwatch, gold cross necklace, gold wedding band, a ring of house keys, torn piece of paper with the address of the crime scene scribbled onto it, clothing, white undershirt, gray long sleeve button down shirt, black shoes, no socks, .22 caliber pistol. No mention of it. They didn't catch it.
Maybe it dislodged and fell off before anyone noticed it.
When they were moving the body, maybe it never made it to the station.
Maybe. Or maybe they just didn't care enough to mark it down.
It's strange that he brought keys with him.
Huh?
Wouldn't you think if he had planned this that he would have left his house keys at home?
Force of habit, perhaps?
Perhaps.
This is really good. Bring this tomorrow to Amory with your other thoughts. See what he says.
I imagine he'll say very little and very much.
The weight of that button sat with me all night. I needed time to move faster. The day dragged on like the real killer was holding the minute hand hostage to keep us from finding anything else. I read the witness statements over and over again, but nothing in them stood out with any new insight. Though the chauffeur had heard the shots, he said he paid them no mind. When pressed to recall exactly how many shots he had heard, his clearest answer was, a few. I got the impression that Gatsby's employees were no strangers to talking with the police. They seemed to know exactly how much to say to sate the officers' questions, and exactly how much to keep secret to protect themselves and their employer. They were full of non-answers, negligible details, and I imagined they must have been as frustrating to conduct as they were years later to read. Nick's statement was the clearest, though I had read an almost identical recount of the day through his eyes already. The depth of his emotion, his sadness, his guilt for having left Gatsby alone at all, came through in his statement as beautifully as it does in everything he's ever written. He has a way of crafting words that invite you in, that his arms open wide and gather you in to sit with him while he watches people pass. I've seen so many people through Nick's eyes, but none so clearly as Jay Gatsby. That love and appreciation couldn't be dampened, even in a police report. He relayed his movements through the day almost to the minute. It was clear he had been counting seconds while he was in the city, feeling pulled back to West Egg and Gatsby as soon as he could get there. He was meticulous about what he saw when he got to the house, which of Gatsby's people he saw first, what order the rest of them came out of the house in at hearing the commotion, the exact number of minutes it took for the authorities to arrive. I fell asleep counting the seconds of Nick's memories. When the next day finally arrived, I gathered up the photos and documents and made my way back to the police station.
Okay, I found a few things that I'd like to share with you before we get back into the tapes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing is with Gatsby. It seems like he was shot just once.
That's right.
Don't you think that's odd?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, if you're shooting for revenge, especially if you plan on killing yourself immediately afterwards, wouldn't you want to make sure it got done? You'd want to do everything as quickly as possible before the shots drew any attention, right?
I suppose that's true, but the shot did kill him.
Not quickly. Look at the amount of the blood in the water and the fact that he was face down, maybe even trying to get his way out of the pool. It took more time than George probably would have gambled on.
Maybe he got spooked, didn't know he had it in him, surprised himself, and just went ahead with the rest of the plan.
He accidentally hit a main artery on his first and only shot and called it a day because he got scared?
Could have just been lucky.
You're lying to yourself if you think this was luck.
I'm just saying that one shot doesn't exactly live as evidence.
Okay, well, it doesn't need to be evidence on its own, but we keep digging and keep finding little pieces of the puzzle. Once they're all together, they might make evidence. More pieces like this.
I'm listening.
First of all, look at his face. Eyes open.
Yeah, I see that.
That's not all, though. In his hand, the hand collar here.
Hand collar?
I don't know. What do you call it? The shirt and wrist sleeve. It doesn't matter. Just look.
Okay. What am I looking at?
In his sleeve, tucked in, but just catching the sunlight. It's a button that doesn't match the rest of the other buttons on his shirt. It wasn't noted in the report.
I took the report, and I don't remember seeing this.
Did you take the report before or after the photographs were taken?
Standard policies after.
It might have fallen out.
It might have.
This is big, though.
Yeah, this could be big.
I'd like to listen to the Michaelis tape. I want to understand George more.
State your name for the record, please.
John Michaelis.
Can you describe your whereabouts and actions on the 5th of September?
I had spent all night with my neighbor, George Wilson. When it was another neighbor's turn, I had to go to sleep. My sister, she ran our restaurant all day. We live above. But I told her I cannot work. I'm too tired.
And why did you need to be with Mr. Wilson all night?
He had just lost his wife. Just seen his wife run through by a car. I was worried for him that, he might do something stupid.
Something stupid like what, Mr. Michaelis?
He was so upset. He was going on about how he found out his wife was being unfaithful. He found supplies for a dog when they had no dog. His whole world ended that night. So I think maybe he would try to take his own life. I should have stayed longer. I should not have gone to sleep.
Look here, Mr. Michaelis. Mr. Wilson's actions are in no way your responsibility.
I knew the looks in his eye. They were not looking like a man who had his own responsibility. I should have stayed.
Did Mr. Wilson, to your knowledge, own a gun?
He had an old hunting rifle. Said it was from his father, that he had no use of it. No need for hunting.
How about a revolver?
No. I told him once, George, maybe you should think about protection. Many thieves coming around, men feeling owed what is not theirs, but he said no, he could protect Myrtle himself.
I see. And he didn't mention a gun when you were staying with him that night?
No, sir.
What did he talk about?
His wife, mostly, said he was going to find out who she was with and who killed her. He thought it was the same person. He was right, wasn't he?
Did he have any clue who that man might be?
No, sir. Just kept repeating, yellow car, yellow car, yellow car, over and over like it might give him some sort of idea.
Do you have any idea who she might be seeing?
No, sir. I don't get out of the restaurant all that often, and So many cars stop in and out of George's place, it'd be impossible to know which one of those rich men she was running off with.
Why do you say he was rich?
I mean, must have been, right? All the men with money going back and forth between the cities and those rich folks' towns. Only makes sense one of them would scoop her up.
I see.
Myrtle liked to act like she was rich, too. She didn't used to, but lately, they'd come into my place and she'd turn her nose up at our glasses or forks. Paper napkins, she'd say? Don't you have linens? It was a real change in her. I could see George didn't notice. He was too busy counting his lucky stars as a woman like her picked a man like him.
In his emotional state that night, did Mr. Wilson give any indication he was set on revenge?
Just the opposite, I'd say. It's why I felt fine leaving him. He kept saying the craziest thing, looking up at a billboard we got. Big pair of glasses, saying that only he can judge, only he could know. I thought he might have been talking about God, you know? It's in God's hands to judge now. When I got up late that afternoon and saw he was gone, I had hoped he was going off to find a church like I told him to.
Do you recall what time that was that you got up?
I slept through lunch rush, got up around 2.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michaelis. That's all I have for you at this time.
Well, he doesn't sound like the type to have practiced with a gun enough to make such a perfect shot.
Could have been a lucky hit.
Yeah, could have been. I'd like to hear a little more. You said Myrtle's sister came in too?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much you're going to get from it. She was a real doozy, and I don't trust a word of what she said.
There are pieces of truth in every lie, if it's a good enough one.
Well, listen for yourself and see how good she is.
Please state your name for the recording.
Catherine Raycroft.
Miss Raycroft, can you recount your actions on the afternoon of September 5th?
I was sitting in my flat in the city, crying my eyes out over my sister's incident.
Interesting choice of word, incident, Miss Raycroft.
Well, that's what it was, wasn't it? It was dark out and a car didn't see her.
Why would your sister be in the middle of the road at night?
I'm sure I can't say. Maybe she was having one of her sleepwalking episodes.
Did she have those frequently?
Well, I wouldn't know, would I? She lived all the way out in Willets Point while I live in Manhattan.
Did she have these sleepwalking episodes when she was younger, when you were both living in the same home?
You can't expect me to remember that far back now, can you?
Miss Raycroft, I urge you to remember that 3 people are dead, including your sister and her husband. If this was a common occurrence for your sister to sleepwalk, it is important to know.
Well, I simply cannot remember.
What was your relationship with your brother-in-law, Mr. Wilson?
He was the only one I had, so he was the best one I knew.
Was your sister happy with him?
Deliriously.
So you're saying there's no credibility to the rumors she was having an affair with a man in New York City?
I live in New York City.
Yes, I'm aware, but there have
It's
been...
not a crime for a married woman to visit her sister often, is there?
Well, no, ma'am, it's just that...
And that's exactly what she was doing when she came up here, visiting me, catching up on old times.
Do you have a dog, Miss Raycroft?
I would never.
Did your sister?
I can't imagine.
Do you know why there would be a dog leash and a collar hidden at your sister's apartment if nobody has a dog?
I simply couldn't say.
Of course. What was your relationship to Jay Gatsby?
I heard he's in a crime family.
Not what you've heard, Miss Raycroft, but your personal experience with him.
I don't have any.
Never attended any of his parties?
Anyone can throw a party. I've been to plenty right here in the city. I don't need to travel all the way out there.
Is that why your sister visited so frequently, to attend parties?
They were nothing nefarious, if that's what you're implying. Just a couple of gals getting together to dance a few hours away.
Did your sister like to dance, Miss Raycroft?
I certainly don't think she was dancing in the middle of the street to get herself hit by a car, if that's what you're implying.
It wasn't.
Well, what were you implying?
I wasn't implying anything, Miss Raycroft. I'm just asking some questions to try and get a better idea of what happened.
What happened is my sister died, and her husband got some big idea about it being a murder, and he went after the first criminal he met.
You don't think your sister was murdered?
He would never... I mean, I'm sure a man driving the car in the middle of the night would never hit a defenseless woman on purpose.
When you said he, who did you mean?
I didn't mean anything. I'm flustered, can't you tell?
I'm sorry for flustering you, Miss Raycroft. Would you like a glass of water?
I'd rather like to leave.
She was so close to naming Tom there. Do you make a habit of not following up on random he's that witnesses throw into an interrogation out of the blue?
I cannot stress enough that these were not suspects and not interrogations.
Yes, you said.
Well, it doesn't seem to have stuck, now does it?
I'm just trying to get answers.
We delayed listening to Nick's testimony, the last of the tapes, for another day in order for Detective Amory to stomp with me across the precinct to the records hall. Instead of alerting suspicion at the library by asking around for crime scene photographs that they wouldn't have, he told me we could pull some recent suicides to see if my theory stood. He told the desk officer the same story I had fed him, a Middle West journalist trying to warn small-town dreamers about the dangers of the East. This got us easy access to the photo archives without raising any eyebrows.
Look at this. Adult male, 40s, died by firearm suicide. Eyes closed, mouth closed. Adult male, 30s, died by firearm suicide. Eyes squeezed shut. Adult male, 30s, firearm suicide. Eyes closed, closed, closed. Female, closed, closed, closed. They're all closed. Blaine, there is not a single victim of suicide with a gun with their eyes open here.
I agree. It's rather odd.
It should have been more than rather odd 3 years ago.
You don't understand. There was a lot
I think I understand perfectly. If you won't reopen this case to investigate it properly, I'm just going to do it myself. I appreciate your time and the access, but I think I have everything I need from you.
Miss Jones, wait just a second here.
I'm not the one who has waited for years for anyone to take them seriously. And I'm not the one who has had to sit with the guilt of knowing a murder has gone unsolved for so long. You've all waited long enough for everyone involved. I simply won't.
Miss Jones, I don't know
Good
how
day,
they do it.
Detective Amory. I will be in touch when I have a person for you to arrest.
I was seething when I left, unable to comprehend how these details could go unnoticed and uninvestigated. It would be harder without the under-the-radar help of Detective Amory, but I was convinced that there was a story deeper than the one even Nick had known, and I was going to solve it.
I need to talk to your cousin.
Jenny,
I need to talk to her.
I'll write down the last number I had for her.
Was this the number for their East Egg house?
Yeah. I don't know if they're still there or if they moved back to Chicago, though.
We should go down and check.
Just drive out and knock on their door.
Why not? It's just past noon. We can drive down with plenty of daylight to see if they're home. And if no one is there, we can ride around the bay to Gatsby's house to do more investigating.
Shouldn't we wait for the detective before we poke around there again?
No, he is useless. If we find anything, we can call him and have him drive out to meet us before we touch it. Chances are there won't be anything there, but it's worth it to try.
I don't know, Jenny. I worry that it'll hurt us in the long run to dig deeper on our own.
What's wrong with you? You literally came to me because you don't trust the police to handle this properly. And everything I've learned in the past couple days supports that tenfold.
I didn't know it'd become so real.
You should be glad about that, though. This proves what you've been feeling in your gut for years isn't some crazy acid reflux. You want this murder solved?
Obviously, I do.
Well, then we're gonna solve it. Blaine doesn't care. He didn't care when it happened, and he doesn't care now. Only you and I care.
Jenny, I'm afraid.
What are you afraid of? Justice? Answers?
Yeah.
Why would... What if it's someone you love?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's Tom.
In the first couple months, I hated them so much. I hated everything they stood for and everything they had done to him. It wore off over a while, as things do. The year I took to write it all down helped blunt the edges some, but when I found the lighter, I was consumed again with so much anger, so much vengeance. He was a sun, Jenny, brighter than a billion flames, and they just...
You really loved him?
I really did.
We'll figure this out, Nick.
But what if it's not Tom? What if it's someone I don't want it to be?
Well, then they're a murderer, and we have to live with that.
I can't see it in Daisy.
People can be surprising.
I can't see it in Jordan. She's so young, her whole life ahead.
You cared a lot for her.
She was special, magnetic, but so frustrating.
Sounds familiar. We're gonna get answers, Nick. We might not like them, but we're going to get them. For you. For Jay.
For Jay.
We decided to wait until the next day to drive down to the Buchanans. Both of us were too emotional for our own good, and it would do better for the case if we went with a fresh night of sleep. We left about 9 and took the tedious drive through the Valley of Ashes. We passed by Wilson's garage, but it had changed owners. A flashing sign that blinked Darcy's. It had been plastered above what looked like the old garage sign, a juxtaposition of old and new, dull and bright, dead and alive. It looked like Michaelis' restaurant was still open, though empty at this time of the morning. Most of the trip passed in silence. I knew Nick was nervous about the potential of seeing his cousin for the first time in almost 3 years. The first time since he had left their house in the middle of the night and headed over to meet Gatsby waiting in the bushes. I knew every moment of that night and next day was playing on loop in his brain, that he was seeing his friend murdered over and over and over again. So I let him sit in that silence and play it until the tape hopefully wore out. When we pulled up at the house, it was a stunning display of classic wealth. Where Gatsby's mansion had been modern, gilded, and massive, the Buchanan mansion was sleek, understated, and massive. The red brick driveway felt as long as our journey from the city had been, and I noticed that Nick took this last stretch as slowly as the car would allow. Trying to read his face for any sign of change in the house since he had seen it last proved fruitless, so instead I gathered my equipment in the hope to record every moment, in case we were in luck. You okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
No.
Can I help you?
Hi, we're here to see Mr. and Mrs. Buchanan.
Who may I say is calling on them?
Miss Jennifer Jones.
And
Are they home or not?
I'll tell Mr. Buchanan you're in. Step this way, please.
Nick! Well, this is a surprise. How the hell are you? And who is this? I see you found yourself a lady at last.
Hi, Mr. Buchanan.
Call me Tom. A friend of Nick's is a friend of mine.
Mr. Buchanan, I'm Jennifer Jones. I am a friend of Nick from Minnesota.
Oh, how about that? You really did move back west.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised. You fit in as well as the rest of us around here. What made you go back?
I didn't belong here.
I don't know much about that. It's all about the secrets we keep, right?
No, I never...
Never what, Nick? Never lied? Never kept secrets?
Mr. Buchanan, we were hoping to talk to Daisy.
You want to talk to Daisy?
Yes, sir, if she's home.
Well, no, ma'am. She's not home.
We can come back another time if it's convenient.
I'm afraid you'll be waiting a long time. Daisy left me.
Oh.
What do you mean she left you?
I mean, Nick, she moved out in the middle of the night with no more than a note to say that she wouldn't be back.
Why?
Why? Well, I thought you would have figured it out by now, Nick. She left after she found out I killed her man across the bay.
All That Glitters is written, produced, and edited by me, Steph Crugnola, inspired by The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This episode features Pablo Muñoz-Evers as Nick, Mike Crugnola as Detective Amory, Tony P. Henderson as Michaelis, Julia Garbani as Catherine, Chris Casey as The Man, and Brian Hensley as Tom. Music by Josh Kavanaugh.